Hey everybody, it's Deplorable Bobby, and I'd like to ask you to subscribe to this channel. I need your support. I'm trying to get a message out. I'm trying to get a message out to the people about things that they don't want to talk about, things they don't want to think about, things they'd rather not even know about. But, ladies and gentlemen, we're here to save the children. We have to save the children. The children are everything. If we can't protect them, then we failed at our most serious task in this life, is to protect our children. I'm not a religious person, but I remember from growing up, I remember hearing the scripture, suffer not my little children. You know, we're not supposed to hurt those little babies. So, this channel, from this day forward, will be dedicated to abortion, child trafficking, and sexual abuse of children. We'll talk about arrest. We'll talk about investigations that are ongoing. We'll talk about what we can do to help. I'm going to look for these avenues. We're going to find some way to help in this fight against these terrible atrocities that are falling on our children every day. So tonight, I'm going to talk a little bit about a organization called Live Action. Live Action is probably the best avenue that I've found for information. I've spent hours and hours scouring the web, looking at different websites, looking for what they do and what they promote and what they do to save our children. And I found a lot of them. Oh, they were I don't know what you call them, but they would have this big title up there, and then you'd go on there and it would say all this stuff that was pro-parenthood, you know, pro-abortion, and it was almost on every website I looked on. They would start off pro-life, but before they got to the bottom, it would be pro-abortion, and it's just those weirdo Democrats, you know, making these sites and doing this stuff. So I want to apologize for rambling, but let me talk to you about the liveaction.org. The founder and president is Lela Rose. She started Live Action when she was just 15 years old, from her family's living room. Can you believe that, people? From her family's living room. Since that time, Live Action has grown to become one of the leading national pro-life and human rights organizations in America, dedicated to ending abortion and inspiring culture that respects and defends all life. People, that sounds pretty good to me. So we're going to go a little bit farther, and we're going to talk about their featured campaigns. They have campaigns going on now about abortion procedures. You know, former abortionists, they explain abortions, my Lord. And then it explains the child trafficking cover-up, and it explains the sexual abuse. This website is a must. Liveaction.org. But anyway, we're going to go on a little further. We're going to see what they have to say. Human rights abuses of abortion in industry must end. Preborn child is the most vulnerable member of the human family, yet the least protected. Under federal law, abortion is legal throughout pregnancy. We talked about that last night. Right up until birth. These innocent human beings are entitled to the most basic human rights, deserve to be treated with dignity and respect. And I don't think there's a single person watching this video that doesn't believe that. Get this, people. 3,000 preborn children will die in America today. Every 90 seconds, a child is aborted by Planned Parenthood. The evil that they are. Under federal law, I've already told you, children can be aborted up until the time of birth. A preborn's personal life can be ended for any reason. People, we need to educate. We need to educate people about the humanity of the preborn. We have to educate them that this entity in this woman's womb is a human, functioning and full of life. We have to expose the human rights corruption in the abortion industry and the lobbyists. My God, the lobbyists. There's hundreds of them. We got to stop it, people. We have to inspire and activate. People have to be a voice for the voiceless. And you know who the voiceless are. The voiceless are those people that can't speak for themselves. And I'll tell you right now, I only know of one that can't speak, and that's going to be that unborn child. It's going to be aborted in some Planned Parenthood facility or some other facility supported by Planned Parenthood. Either way you go. I'm going to tell you a little something. We're going to do something tonight. We're going to look about the problem. The whole problem of abortion. You know, we got to start from the very beginning. And why be pro-life? Well, it's very simple. You don't believe in killing children. Years ago, I became a Republican simply because I don't believe in killing children. And Democrats do. Let me ask you a question. How can Nancy Pelosi advocate for these laws that are happening in New York and Virginia and for pro-choice, and she's Catholic? Evidently, she ain't much of a Catholic. You know, as far as I know, I don't know any Catholics that have had abortions, and I don't know any That's why they have so many kids. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Hell yeah. You get pregnant, raise the damn kid. By God, it'll be a blessing to you. So what we're going to do? We're going to learn about the problem. That's what we're going to do. Let me get this little laptop set up here where I can roll it down and everything will be good, and we're going to talk about it. Abortion is the gravest mass human rights abuse of our time. Let's learn a little bit more about human rights abuse. When does life begin? At the moment of fertilization, the entire genetic makeup of a human being is formed. People, formed. I know we all understand that word. This includes the sex, the eye color, other traits. The difference between someone at fertilization and 4 months old in utero, or 2 years old, or 17, or 35, or 80, is simply the development, aided by nutrition and time. You give that little baby that we're talking about time and nutrition. By the time they're 80 years old, that's what they're going to be, people. Those things can grow. Because it doesn't matter how old you are, your development continues. And it starts at birth, at conception. The vulnerable preborn. Throughout our lives, we're constantly changing, and we get to witness a lot of these changes in ourselves and others. But our most rapid development takes place when we are still hidden from the world in our mother's womb. Oh my goodness. Pardon me just a minute, I got to back up. And because preborn children are unseen during the crucial period, they are especially vulnerable. Most people do not know what happens to a preborn child during an abortion. I explained that last night in detail. I went how they changed from the first trimester to the second and third trimester on how they abort that child. I explained it in detail, people. I'm not going to go into it here. So everybody needs to learn a little bit more about the prenatal development. You know, and the most prevalent procedures that these people do are horrific. They are horrific. Dismembering children, pulling them out in pieces. My Lord, what is this going to be? What are we going to do to ourselves? There's common questions, and science proves we're human from the moment of fertilization, but some people wonder, is there still a reason somewhere to justify an abortion? Well, let me tell you something. There's not. Except, what about rape in the life of the mother? Or a challenging prenatal disorder? Well, I'm going to tell you. If it's if it's rape or incest, you know it when it happens. You know it when it happens. Go to the doctor then. Get the morning after pill. I explained that last night. Baby doesn't have a heartbeat until he's 5 weeks old. I believe it starts at fertilization. But that doesn't matter. What I think. It's what they think. Because they're the one giving out the drugs. So if you've been raped or been a victim of incest, get the morning after pill. And then they say, or a challenging prenatal diagnosis for the mother. Well, you won't know that until later on. You won't know that that mother is going to have a bad diagnosis as far as carrying that child to term until later on in the trimester. So let's don't even talk about that right now. They don't even play into this, but yet they're throwing it out there like it's gospel. How about when a woman's rights and a preborn child's rights conflict? My Lord, what are we going to do then? People, there should never, ever, in humanity, there should never be a choice between a mother and a child when the pregnancy is going just fine. So what are you talking about women's rights and child's rights? Let me put it to you like this. Our Constitution says we have inalienable rights. And those rights go to the newborn. I believe it in my heart and I'll shout it to the heavens. These children have rights. Let me ask you this. If abortion was no longer legal, if they overturned Roe versus Wade, if you couldn't get an abortion anywhere in the country legally, what would happen? They'd be doing abortions in the back rooms of some dingy bar somewhere with a coat hanger. Well, let me tell you. You may not agree with me and you may get mad at me, and I don't care. But if abortion were abolished in this country, and a woman wanted to have that child ripped out of her uterus and out of her womb by a coat hanger in a dingy back room in a bar, it's what she damn deserves. I, for one, do not stand for killing innocent children. If she wants to have this abortion that bad, if she can't handle bearing the child and giving it away to somebody that would raise it and love it and nurture it and watch it grow into a beautiful child and an adolescent and a teenager and a grown-up human being functioning in our society. So here's what happens, people. I'm not about women going in back dingy rooms having a coat hanger to abort a child. I'm not advocating that for a moment. I'm advocating have the child. Don't go to that dingy back room somewhere with dim light. They're going to tear your insides out. You'll be lucky to survive a coat hanger abortion. But we've got enough of these damn midwives or whatever they are. I'm not talking down midwives, but I'm telling you what, you got a lot of these people out there to give you all the ideas, just like Planned Parenthood. You want to go to Planned Parenthood? I got a video on that. And I'll tell you what, you can go in there and you can pretend to be a child trafficker, and they'll tell you how to get around the system, what to do, how to keep these 13, 14-year-old girls from being pregnant so they can get out there and pimp it off. That's what it's all about. All right, I'm going to back off of it, people. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get carried away. There's an abortion corporation. One preborn child dies every 97 seconds. Planned Parenthood is the nation's largest abortion chain, ending lives of over 320,000 American children every year. Every 97 seconds, people, they're killing a baby. Well, I'll tell you what, Planned Parenthood wants to tell you this. They're going to tell you, there's only a 3% of our procedures end up in abortion. They're lying through their damn teeth. This corporation receives over $500 million people, $500 million of taxpayer money every year to support their child-killing, child-selling enterprise. Planned Parenthood says they downplay abortion. When have you ever thought of Planned Parenthood and abortion wasn't the first thing you thought of? Falsely claiming that it only makes up 3% of its business and claims its priority is women's health care. I'll tell you right now, they don't give a damn about your women's health care. They don't give a damn about that baby's life. All they want is to get that baby so they can sell its tissues to labs across America, or they're going to take that baby and sell it alive. I said it. I think a lot of these damn abortions aren't abortions at all. They probably sedate the mother and then they take the baby full grown as a baby. Then they call up and they sell that sucker somewhere. Let me tell you, people, there's a ping pong table waiting for that baby somewhere, and all it takes is one phone call. They're connected, people. They're connected. They're connected to the dark web. They're connected to the pedophiles and the pedivores in this nation, let me tell you that. And they supply most of the kids. However, Planned Parenthood proves its own numbers are falsified. Planned Parenthood doesn't perform a single mammogram, and it performs less than 2% of all women cancer screening in the United States. 2%, people. They do a pap smear of 2% of the people that come into their office. Not 2% of America, 2% of the people come in their office. The other rest of them, none of them get mammograms. So how is this a women's health care center? Yet it comes over 30% of America's abortions. Planned Parenthood is responsible for 30% of all American abortions. Well, they're opposed to all restrictions. Well, this powerhouse lobby in D.C., Planned Parenthood exposes all restrictions on abortions, including protections that would vast cover up the majority of Americans' support, such as banning late-term abortions of children who could survive outside the womb, or abortions that are based on the problem of the child's sex. Also lobbyists against laws against that. And they lobby against the laws against that because there's lies and cover-ups and abuses. While Planned Parenthood and the abortion industry commit 1 million abortions in the United States every year, they have also been exposed for other serious abuses against women and children. Live Action has investigated Planned Parenthood's cover-up of sexual abuse and child trafficking, medical misinformation, lies, manipulation, and this is a hard word for me, people. Infanticide, killing babies. Tears my heart out to say that. Acceptance of radically motivated donations and willingness to target preborn girls for sex slave abortions. They want the girls. I don't know why, people. Only they know. But people, there's child sex trafficking covers up. There's disturbing advice on sex. And I don't care if it's safe to have an abortion or not, because you shouldn't be having it to begin with. So if it's not safe, don't do it. All I want to say, people, is I appreciate your time. I appreciate Live Action for all that they do. If you can, please look somewhere. I don't know where it's at, but it'll be somewhere to donate to Live Action. And we're going to see if maybe we can't partner with them somewhere down the road and maybe put on some kind of thing going on. Don't know what we can do, but we're talking, and maybe we can get something going. I want to thank you. I want to ask you to subscribe. I value all of you, each and every one of you. I promise you I will always be honest and truthful. I would never lie to you on purpose, and if I do lie to you and I find out about it, or you call me on it, I will apologize. So let's keep this thing honest, people. Let's think about our kids. Let's think about the trafficked children. Let's talk about the missing children. Let's talk about the abortions. People, we got to put it out there somewhere. This can't be done alone. So we're going to do it together, I hope. So hang with me, folks. It's going to get better. Just give me time. Bear with me. We're going to fight this thing till the end. God bless the children. And that's the way it is. I'm Deplorable Bobby. Thank you for watching.